What's up, sports fans? I'm Casey James with your Major League Baseball postseason report. And you know how we do it. And if you don't, you better ask somebody. Now, if you would have told me back at the end of March when this long marathon called a baseball season started that it would be the San Francisco Giants and the Texas Rangers playing each other in the Fall Classic, I'd have had you committed. In fact, I would have told them to lock you up and throw away the key. Well, I guess you may get out of that asylum now because that's exactly what we've got. The San Francisco Giants and the Texas Rangers in the World Series for all the marbles. Are you kidding me? The two most unlikely teams to ever meet in a World Series in this year's Fall Classic. I mean, there's always one underdog, right? There has to be a favorite. But this time, there's two underdogs in this World Series. How about the Texas Rangers, formerly known as the Washington Senators? They moved to Texas back in 1972 and became the Rangers. This is a franchise that in 50 years had never won a postseason series, let alone ever been in a World Series. Well, they fixed that problem in the first round when they handled their business against the Tampa Bay Rays, winning 3 times on the road. That was a series that also made history, the first time all 5 games were won by the road team. And then the Rangers went into New York to take on the big bad Yankees, the evil empire, with that $200 million payroll. Now the Rangers would probably figure out they were the Rangers, right? Wrong. Because they not only beat the Yankees, they put a beat down on the Yankees. They dominated them in every phase of the game. They out-hit them. They out-pitched them. They ran the bases better. They were better defensively. They had a swagger the Yankees used to have. And they went in there, in fact, and ripped the pinstripes right off New York. The Rangers out-Yankeed the Yankees. I mean, they did it in every way, and even manager Ron Wilson managed rings around Joe Girardi. They made the Yankees look like they are, a old baseball team. And to get to their first World Series, the Texas Rangers, and they've been led by their main man, Cliff the General Lee. They traded for him in midseason, and they got him just for these situations, and he has been ridiculous in the postseason. 3-0, 34 strikeouts and 1 walk against the Rays and the Yankees lineups, two teams that can swing the sticks. I mean, dude is doing something that nobody in history has ever done in the postseason. He has been simply superhuman. His 1.26 ERA in 8 postseason starts only is bettered by Sandy Koufax and Christy Mathewson. Two dudes that have just all over the Hall of Fame, right? So Cliff Lee is doing that kind of thing. Again, a superhuman effort by him, and he's led the Rangers. They also have got some solid pitching from Chris Lewis and C.J. Wilson. Lewis beat the Yankees twice in the ALDS, and they've got it done with their bullpen. They haven't had to call on their bully much, but when it's been called on, they've been ready. So the Rangers are red hot going in to the World Series, and the Giants they aren't cool themselves. I mean, this is a team that I like to call them the cardiac Giants because they played 7 one-run games in the postseason, winning 6 of them, and they get it done with pitching, clutch hitting, and defense. Of course, they've got that 3-headed monster. Their starters, the freak Tim Lincecum, Big Daddy Matt Cain, and Jonathan Sanchez have been all that. Their middle relief has just been solid as a rock. And then Brian Beach Boy Wilson, Fear the Beard, has closed everything that they've asked him to do. He's 6-0 in the postseason in closed situations. So the Giants have gotten it done, again, with pitching, clutch hitting from guys like Cody Ross, Juan Uribe, Jonathan or Sanchez, Freddie Sanchez, not Jonathan. He's been solid, and they've just gotten it done from everywhere. Buster Posey, every night it's a different Giant stepping up to be the hero. So this is truly a team. Not like in 2002 when they went to the World Series and lost to the Angels in that 7-game epic when it was all about Barry Bonds. This is all about the team. And Bruce Bochy has done an outstanding job at managing, and he is one of the best managers in baseball. I mean, the guy knows the game inside out, and he's proven that with this Giant team this year. So what a fall classic we have got. A great matchup, two evenly matched teams. It's a dead heat. How do you pick one? The Rangers have got great starting pitching and a tremendous offense. Those guys can swing the sticks. The only problem they may have is that bullpen, their middle relief, and because their bullpen hasn't had to do much in the postseason, because their starters have been so great, or the Rangers have just broke out the whooping sticks on people like they did against the Yankees. So that's a question mark for them. The Giants, great starting pitching, outstanding middle relief, and great closing. Don't have as much offense as the Rangers. So who do you like? If I look at this series, I always say when it comes down to championship baseball, it's pitching and defense. And pitching and defense, you have got to give it to the Giants. I think this might be their year. They haven't won a World Series since 1954 when they were the New York Giants, and they had a guy that you might have heard of by the name of Willie Mays, the Say Hey Kid. And I think this year is the Giants' year that in a tough, tight 6 or 7 game series, I like them over the Texas Rangers, who have already made history again, getting there for the first time for that franchise, having never won a postseason series. Either one of these teams, when they'll be basically making history, the Giants would be the first time winning on the West Coast. So I think it's going to be a great World Series, two evenly matched teams. But if I have to pick one, I like the Giants. So that's it for this edition of the Baseball Postseason Report. I'm KC James, and I will come back and give you some highlights of the first couple of games of the World Series next week. So until then, make sure that you don't strike out.